We're going to look at how to measure things using the metric system. The first step we need to think about is, what is our question? Are we looking for how long something is, or how heavy something is, or how much liquid can fit in my coffee cup? That's capacity. There are different units of measurement, and we're going to take a look at them now. The first thing we're going to look at is how long something is or how far something is. So if you have a ruler and you need to measure something, that's how long it is. If you're wondering about the trip from home to Banff National Park, that's how far something is. There are different units we measure for different things. For the little tiny things, we use millimeters. For smallish things, we use centimeters. Then we use meters for bigger things. And when something is very far away, we use kilometers. On the screen, I've tried to give a rough idea of what is sensible. If you could fit something on your fingertip, it's not even 1 centimeter. So we would use millimeters. A centimeter is about as wide as a slightly chubby person's thumb. So if it's bigger than a thumb, we would definitely use centimeters. And we'd keep using centimeters as long as what we're measuring would fit, say, on a small table or a teacher's desk. If something is bigger than would fit on a teacher's desk, like, say, a person, then we would switch to meters. If you want to know how long the hallway is, we would use meters. If you want to know how high this building is, we would use meters. And then if something is basically so far away you have to drive, or if you go running there, you will be sweating and you might hurt yourself, then we're going to use kilometers. Now, in this picture of some street musicians over in Seattle, there are 3 arrows. If you look at the staircase in the background, okay, it is probably going to be about 4 meters long. You can't see all of it. So we would use meters. If you look at the saw and the bow, the instruments in the hand of the person on the left, they're just the right size to fit nicely on a small table, so we'd measure them in centimeters. If you look at the woman on the right, she's playing an accordion, and in her left hand where the arrow is, there are little tiny buttons that are smaller than her fingertips, so we'd measure those in millimeters. And the picture was taken in Seattle, and if you want to know how far away Seattle is from Calgary, you would use kilometers. Right, the next thing we're going to look at is how heavy something is. For small things, we use grams. A gram is very tiny. The picture shows some spices, and that's probably 3, maybe even 5 grams. That's how tiny a gram is. For larger things, if you're weighing a cat or a person, you would use kilograms. There is a metric ton, and basically if you think of the biggest horse you have ever seen in your life, that is about 1 ton. Capacity in the metric system is basically measured with 2 different things. If something is really tiny or smaller than a bottle of water, we would measure it in milliliters. And if it's as big as a bottle of water or a carton of milk, 1 liter carton of milk, if it's bigger, we switch over to liters. If you get a cup of coffee, you measure that in milliliters because almost every cup of coffee is smaller than a liter.